The first two Superman movies are great films. They capture comic books right. People will always argue which version of Superman 2 is better. Each one has its points. I'm on the side of the Donner's cut because it makes more sense and concludes Jor-El's story, but Lester's version does the job fine. Especially after Superman 2 with the fight between General Zod. It's why people consider Christopher Reeves the iconic version of Superman, just like how people consider Kevin Conroy as the one and only Batman. But I don't know what the hell happened when they made Superman 3. One of the things that made the superhero genre look bad was the 1960s Batman show. I don't understand why they thought it was a great idea to make Superman 3 a comedy. Yeah, Superman is going to have some funny bits. Clark Kent has to act like an idiot. Mxyzptlk is one of those characters that's out there. But that doesn't mean Superman falls in the comedy genre. I like Richard Pryor, but he would have been better suited for Ghostbusters and not shape Superman 3 around him. To sum up Superman 3, it's bloated and has zero logic. Scenes are thrown together and that's it. The thing I also don't understand is that it was cheaper than the first two films. They were very meticulous on how they used the visual effects in 1 and 2. Superman 3 looks like it has a TV movie budget. Both films were extremely successful, and I'm talking nearly making triple Superman 2's budget back. But they dropped the budget of the third by $20 million. It shows all over the place, especially the opening titles. The moment the movie starts, you know something's changed. It's already bad they don't even use John Williams' iconic theme, but they make it this super long comedy sketch with the crappiest title sequence I've seen. They rip off the Star Wars title crawl, but like if they were in the 1950s. It's all low effort effects. Now, if you saw the TV version of Superman 3, you might be confused because they actually changed this to the normal John Williams flying through space opening because they knew the original opening sucked. Normally, TV versions are crap, but in Soup 3's case, it's actually an improvement over the original. I can't even say the comedy was funny. Rube Goldberg scene after another. They even throw that blur effect where they put the text on screen to block out visible cables when Superman flies. This is what we've come to. Soup 2 made $190 million. If you couldn't hide the cables, why didn't you just have him speed run to the car? It would have been cheaper and easier to shoot. The whole plot of Superman 3 was completely changed from what it was originally. In one way, I'm glad, but in other parts of the old story would have worked much better. Originally, Supergirl was going to be in the third film. We would go through the whole Argo City stuff, similar to what they ended up doing in the Supergirl film, while also bringing in Brainiac. That would have been all cool. The thing that was stupid in the original idea was they wanted Superman and Supergirl to be lovers. So Supergirl was going to be a different character. I'm glad they didn't do this, but they got rid of Brainiac in the process. Because they rewrote the key characters out, what we got in Superman 3 was a mess. The only thing they really kept from the original script was the evil Superman part. This explains why there's tons of plot holes. But either way, if we got the original script or the final one, the comedy was always going to be there. So instead of Supergirl being Superman's new love interest, we got Lana Lang, a real character from the comic, but we also got blessed with the three villain stooges, and Richard Pryor being the funny one. A rock made of tar that splits Superman, then later a supercomputer that comes to life for no reason. A story so great they spoil the whole thing in the damn trailer. Where do I begin with this crap? There's some good stuff. I will give them the one scene that has all the characters together before Lois left the film. Everyone acted normal. They all have their personalities. Perry always whines. It was the proper funny where it belongs. But these moments are very few. The rest of the movie is filled with endless, stupid crap. This movie used to be about drama, action, sacrifice. Now it's, hey look, hot girl, let's fall over stupid for 5 minutes. Want a good example of poking fun? When Clark flies to China to get Chinese food in the Lois and Clark series. That moment serves many functions, not just funny.
Layers!
Watching the film now really shows how much they took advantage of the era. Home video wasn't a thing yet. VHS was the PS3s of the time. People seeing movies over and over again wasn't common. So you had scenes like the chemical plant disaster stick out with all its blatant errors. Superman 3 really should be called The Quest to Do the Worst. First, the Jimmy and Clark scene. I noticed this when I was 10. Clark and Jimmy hop out of the bus as they were heading to Smallville. A power plant of some kind is on fire. Jimmy goes into reporter mode. They duck behind a cop car as Jimmy tells Clark he's going in to get pictures. All while in eye shot of a cop who's watching them and just lets Jimmy go. This stupidity doesn't stop. Seconds later, Clark turns into Superman through the cop car, but completely forget about the cop that kept watching Jimmy and Clark during the start. He would easily see Clark go in and turn into Superman. Glaring filming mistakes like this makes me question Richard Lester as a director. I do like the chemical disaster overall. They put the money towards it. Jimmy, as usual, does something stupid, so Stu has to rescue him. He really needs that watch. What I have a problem with is the overheating chemical moment. Why would you have Superman be the one talking to the chemical guy? The scene is for exposition. We need to know that these chemicals are kind of an acid, and if the fire goes to them, this stuff will explode and rain down. So why doesn't Soup just freeze the entire room? Whoever wrote these scenes doesn't understand superheroes. All you had to do was have a firefighter find the guy, tell him this information, relay it to the captain. Superman hears it while he's busy rescuing people around the plant, followed by Jimmy, giving him no time to reach the chemicals. You just need a few changes to fix this, including the ending, which made no sense. It was cool to see Soup freeze a lake and use it to rain on the plant, but what's that going to do to fires inside the plant? The chemicals would have gone off. Do the lake stuff and at the last minute have Soup freeze the room. Now, normally I'd be happy that a movie was 2 hours long. The time gives them to set up all the characters. We do get those Lana Lang scenes. We're finally getting to see more of Clark's life at Smallville. But the rest of the time is wasted on jokes that went on for way too long. The movie is obsessed with showing computers and how Gorman does what he does. It feels like they just made these moments longer because they had Richard Pryor and wanted to give him more screen time, but didn't consider how it affects the pacing. Let me start off with the movie surfacing the comedy. Proper writing would have your characters be interesting, cool, dramatic, while also getting a balance to throw in some funny bits here and there. Example, Clark Kent. Clark does his act because he wants to make sure he's never seen a Superman. The comedy services the movie. This film is the opposite. Logical writing is ignored for the joke. But moments like when Gorman drives up in his expensive car just for that joke, it's bad because the movie is making everyone else stupid to make the joke work. They needed Webster to know someone stole his money and this person is intelligent. That way they can have Gorman meet his boss, but because Richard Pryor is a comedian, it has to be funny. So Webster is made stupid, that they can't find out who this person is unless he does something dumb because he covered up his tracks. Except the check was made out for Gorman in his real name. You knew the amount he stole, so you got 95% of the information you needed. All you had to do is to find someone who cashes the check. Boom, got your man. That's how the scene should have gone, but that's not funny. It gets worse as you break down each scene, to the point I'm thinking the writers were preying on people's ignorance. So Webster, his sister, and his nutritionist are small-time villains. They just want to gain control of certain companies like coffee production and various oil companies. I'm fine with that, even though Webster's character is a bootleg Lex Luthor, but for them to do things, they would need fancy technology. I guess because they didn't want Gorman to break into a computer system that ordered the military to attack Columbia. That'd be too much of an evil villain. So we get introduced to a weather satellite that has the power to create anything from tornadoes, hurricanes, floods. I love this weather satellite because it had to be made by some company. The world would have known about it from the huge press it would have gotten. Pollution would have become meaningless. And if it was a military secret, it would have been found out after a short time. No way this would have stayed cover up. So when I see the news reporter going all crazy about this unexplained weather hitting Columbia, I'm just thinking, gee, what about that weather satellite that was invented? Maybe we should be checking on that thing? Gotta love that world building. Hey, Webster, how come you're not trying to take over the world? You got control of something that can manipulate the planet and you just want coffee beans and oil? Webster would fit well with Dr. Evil. People focus so much on Soup 3's comedy being crap, but its plot is so bad, it makes less sense than Superman 4's. Gotta love how Superman can blow oil back into a ship and instead do what he did before, have him freeze the oil and drop it into a man-made basin. Realism. Yes, Superman, let's bring some weird chemical in to destroy the computer. Instead, charge up and use your heat vision. I'm surrounded by morons! It doesn't stop. Again, to save money, we have Gorman describing how Superman saved Columbia with a few shots of poor effects, and he comically falls off the building. You are not making comics look good. Then our world's controlling weather satellite gets turned into a deep space mineral scanner for some reason and breaks down what kryptonite is made of. It lists out the elements, but Gorman gets stuck with one that is unknown. Now, in a good movie, this would be a hurdle to overcome. Not here. He changes it into tar, and somehow this works out. How stupid do you think the audience is? Why would any of these elements hurt Superman? He could smoke probably 10,000 cigarettes in 10 seconds and it would do dick to him. I'm sitting here Picarding. Did no one do any research on red kryptonite? That's all you had to do. I'm sorry. I'm asking too much from people who thought it was fine to give Superman the kryptonite that looked like kryptonite and didn't try to disguise it as something else. This is why I hate the third film so much. I'm not praising Quest for Peace, but you got a problem when Superman 4 makes more sense. It pains me because everything they do in the film could have been easily explained if they brought in more comic book parts. Not much would have to be changed. The obvious thing would have been to keep Brainiac, and it wouldn't have been anything expensive. Brainiac could have been stuck in contemporary computers. That would be the reason to emphasize computers in the film. He would be the primary villain. Webster and Gorman could be kept as is. Remove Lorelei and Vera. They really don't do much for the story. Webster could have stumbled on Brainiac. He crash-landed on Earth a few years after Superman 2. His cyborg body was basically destroyed, so they don't have to build anything. So he was forced to be placed in a half-made-up device that's made of parts of human and Kryptonian tech. Gorman can remain the same, a guy who kept failing at jobs. Just lose the comedy act. We still get to explore Clark and Lana Lang. Gorman does the same money trick, just changes so Webster catches him, with Brainiac intervening, telling Webster we need someone with his talent. I would lose the whole weather satellite, instead have Brainiac work with Webster to take control of oil and coffee. I want to keep the whole Gorman turns good in the end, so I would make it that Gorman invents the computer interface that allows Brainiac to take control of various computer systems, so he's the one who fires the rockets at Columbia. This then starts involving Superman, and like the movie, they give the exposition on kryptonite to Brainiac. He then tells them that his suit was damaged by an unknown material. They find fragments of kryptonite in the remains, but are very small traces. This is where Gorman is able to use the pieces to build a new full kryptonite, but it comes out red instead of green. The one good thing about the film is the Superman vs. Superman fight. This way, you use red kryptonite as a good explanation to Superman going bad and none of this tar crap. You can keep him going rogue, letting Brainiac and Gorman build the supercomputer. The red kryptonite splits Supes into two, then have the final battle between Brainiac and Superman. Not have Gorman's supercomputer come to life out of nowhere, also somehow is able to make fully functional kryptonite, go berserk, and take over Vera. None of this made any damn sense in the movie. You want a comedy, but you do that scene with Vera? Like, what the hell happened at the end? This movie went through so many people and they still produced it. Thanks to Superman 3 and Supergirl right after, the franchise headed into a ditch. It frustrates me as a comic book fan. We went from Superman 2 to this, and we kept seeing companies repeat their mistakes over and over again. Either we go overly comical or in the other direction of way too serious. Superman needs to be in the middle to work.